Hello everybody! So today you're going to use your subtraction knowledge to help us work out how many exercise books we have used in school, and some of you will be using that to help us work out how many we need to order for when we get back to school. So let's have a go. Let me show you how we're going to do that. Okay. Okay, so the learning objective is the same, to subtract ones and tens from a two-digit number. So you're going to be able to subtract ones from a two-digit number, know when you're making an exact multiple of 10 through subtractions. We learned that last time, when the ones digit is the same as the ones digit in the two-digit number, then you know you're going to have no ones left at all. So you're making that exact multiple of 10. And finally, to subtract tens from a two-digit number and know that you're not taking any ones away. So let's have a quick recap of what we learned last time. So I want you to pause the video now and have a go at these calculations in your books or on a piece of paper. If you need to use your Dean's or a pictorial jotting, that's absolutely fine, you can do that. Otherwise, have a go at using your mental strategy. Off you go. Okay, have you done that? Well done. So let's have a look at this. Let's see if you get them right. So 9, take away 9. So we can see we've got 9 ones, which we're taking away from the 9 ones. We're going to have no ones left. So it's only 10 cents. Right? Well done. 5. So again, we've got 1s, take away from 5 ones. We have no ones left. We have got 8 away 10. Well done. And so 6 away. So we've got 6 ones. 0 left. 10 cents. Have a look if you've got those right. If you didn't, put video and have a go, see where you went wrong to correct yourself, because that's how our brains do our very best learning, is looking at where we went wrong so we can learn from that. Otherwise, we can next bit to start here, our learning here now. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to use Otter class as an example to show you how I want you to find out how many exercise books have been used, and you're going to have a go do that for our class for us, okay? So Otter's class started 67 maths books, and they've now got 30. So you need to find out how many used. So which number is the middle? We need to start first and go first. That's right, it's the other one. What's the video now? Application. Well done. It's 30, 60, so left 3 tens. Okay, well done. I want you to have how many handwriting books have been used in Otter's class. Off you go. You done? Well done. It's 6 because that's a number with left. Let's write all the numbers plus this. So how many size books have been used in Butterfly? So how many used? How many been used? So books on your channel you're using. Make sure you do a survey and put maths underline it. Next one, you make each other use it how many things so for example, we have 39 months from 10 months that was November, December, so 4 months. So now, 4 months you don't have to use it, we're going to use it, so you get all the practice. But it might not just make a prediction on that, and I finally don't know when we're back to school. I hope we'll be back to school really soon, but you can make sure something to calculate for. So things like in March, and we can calculate for July, March, April, May, June, July. So that's 5 months. So we need to think how many maths books we use in 5 months. So you can do this in 2 ways. Okay? You could estimate it, which means take a really sensible guess. So if you use 39 maths books in 4 months, then we might say we'd use just a little bit more than that, maybe in 5 months. So it might be that you're looking at about 45 maths books we need. Okay, so you might say 5. So you need to explain the reason why you're saying more than 39. So I say because I'm doing more maths in 5 months than before. It might be less than much maths, but next one think that you can use less maths than 5 months, but you need to explain why. So you need to okay? So I'm doing an estimate. Okay, if you want a real challenge, then you can try and work more accurately. So now, so in months, I'm going to use in 5 months. So To do that, we need to check off the design pattern we found in 1 month. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our 39, imagine we've got 39 counters, actually our 39 maths books within these 4 circles, which represent months. Okay, so 7, 8, and we'll keep going like that until we get to 39. Okay, so we finished sharing and we found out that there are 10 maths books in each month. There's one maths book that didn't quite fit into the circle, so you might have some that we call remainders, ones that don't fit in, that kind of remain on the side. So that's fine. We're just sort of saying roughly there are 10 maths books used in each month. Okay. So then if we know that there are 10 in 1 month, then we need to look at how many there are in 5 months, and we use multiplication to do that, because we're saying we've got 5 lots of one of those months. 5 lots of one of those months. So how many will there be in 5 months? So we've already got our 4 months here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if there's 10 in there, there's 10 in each of them because we've shared them equally. 10, 20, 30, 40. Now we can look at, make another circle to make 5 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're using 10 because there were 10 maths books in each month. So if we know that there are 10 in each circle, we can count in tens to find out how many there are now in 5 months. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we think we will use 50 maths books in 5 months. So we've been able to work that out a bit more accurately by doing it in that way. Okay, so you could explain that in your prediction. In 4 months, we've used 39 maths books. I estimate that we'll use 50, oh, not estimate, you've worked it out. So I think we will use 50 maths books from March till July. I think this because, and you can explain how you've worked it out, okay? Once you've done that, I want you to make a recommendation on how much you think we should order and why. So if we already have 20 maths books in the school, we know that because it says the current number of maths books in the school for Butterfly's class are 20. So you need to remember that. So we're going to write that in. We already have 20 maths books. And then you need to think about how many do we need? How many do we need in total? So if you're estimating that we're going to use 45, then we need 45 maths books. And we need 45 maths books in total. So if we need 45 maths books in total, but we've already got 20, then we don't need to order 45. We need to order fewer than that because we've already got 20. So we need to use subtraction to work that out. So 45 take away 20 equals 25. So we need to order 25 maths books. I think you should order 25 maths books. Oh, having some technological difficulties this morning. There we go. Okay. Right, so that is our prediction and our recommendation completed. Now, like I said, if you feel that that's too much of a challenge for you at this point, you don't have to have a go at this today. We'll do this every time we look at a new item of stationery, and it might be that you start to feel a bit more confident and that you feel ready to have a go. If you think that you definitely can do that and you want to have the challenge, then pause the video and go through the maths books, the reflective journals, the handwriting books and the spelling books, and see if you can make a prediction and a recommendation. Off you go. Okay, well done. So now we need to do the reflection on our learning. So how am I working towards my outcome? What you need to do, everybody, is look back at that launch page in our books. Some of you wrote out your own launch page, some of you printed out my example so that you could tick off what you've been able to do. So you need to go through all the I will learn to statements and think about what you've been able to do in this lesson, or what you've learned and what you're able to use. So it might be that you've used a pictorial jotting today to subtract. That's brilliant. So you can write that in how you're working towards your outcome, that you're using a pictorial jotting to help you get the correct answers. It might be that you've been able to identify the minuend and the subtrahends better today, and you know which number you're subtracting from which, and that's really clear for you, so you could write that down. It might be that if you look at the even better ifs, that you've been able to do some of those. So you've been able to use the abstract method, which means you've been able to use that mental strategy to look at the tens and the ones and know which ones you're subtracting and work it out in your head. It might be that today you've challenged yourself and you've had a go at predicting what you'll use for the rest of the year and been able to make a recommendation because of that. Okay, so whatever you've been able to do, I want you to think about how you've been able to do that. So you might write, I have become confident in using a pictorial jotting to work out my answer. I challenged myself to make a prediction and a recommendation based on what I found out. Okay, so then you want to think of a next step for yourself, really. What is there on that list that you haven't yet done that you want to use, you want to focus on in the next lesson or the next few lessons? So it might be that you want to be able to compare the data to another class, or it might be that you're not quite sure how to use an empty number line at the moment to subtract, and you want to know how to use that method. So if there's anything on there that you want to focus on next, then you'll put in that as your next step. That needs to be something that you haven't yet done, or something that you can't yet do. Okay. Once you've reflected on how you're working towards your outcome, I want you to reflect on how you have shown care in today's lesson. So you're going to think about the things that you have done that have shown care. So it might be that you have taken real care over your numerals and your numbers, making sure that you're writing them the right way round. It might be that you've taken real care, so whenever you're drawing a line, you've used a ruler and you've made sure that the ruler is straight so that your line is nice and straight. It might be that you've taken care by underlining your subheadings with a ruler. I don't know, whatever it is, you have a look at your work and think about what you have done that really shows care. You've taken care and you've taken pride over your work. Okay, and then again, have a think about what your next step will be. So what is it that you want to focus on in terms of care? Is there something that maybe could be neater, or could be you could have taken more care over? Have a think and put that down in your next step. I can't wait to see what you've written. Okay, pause the video now and have a go at your reflections. Well done, everybody. Okay, and finally, just to finish off the lesson, here's a question for you. So I want you to answer this in your books. Do these calculations have the same answer? Write yes or no and explain your answer. So do these two calculations have the same answer? 17 add 3 and 3 add 17. If you think yes, write yes and explain your answer. You could explain it in words, or you could do sort of a pictorial jotting just to prove that they have the same answer. And then once you've done that, have a go at thinking about whether these have the same answer. 17 take away 3 and 3 take away 17. Write yes or no and then explain why. So again, you could do that using your words, or you could use a picture or jotting to prove that they don't have the same answer. Okay. Well done, everybody. Super work. I can't wait to see what you've managed to do and see how many books we've got to order for school. Well done. Thank you. Goodbye.